What's up everyone, welcome back to another video on TPL locks. Today I am doing a video on a person you guys requested in the poll. I put a poll in the community part of this channel and I asked you guys who I should review. And second on that poll that I did was J. Cole. So today we are reviewing J. Cole. So J. Cole is actually called Jermaine Lamar Cole. He was born in 1985 and he's a rapper, he's a songwriter, he's a producer, he is a singer, and he was actually born in Germany on a military base, but he grew up in Lafayette, North Carolina. So we're gonna jump straight into the first picture that I have of him when he was a little boy, just to get a sense of what haircuts he used to have and what haircut he has now. When he was younger, he obviously had very short hair, as you can see here, and I think he continued to have this type of hairstyle for a really long time. I'm not sure when this was, but he must have been like maybe 12 years old or something, so this must have been before 2000. Then we jump from this time to 2011. This is him in 2011, and as you can see, it's kind of still the same haircut. He has very short hair, and he has a fade. So this is in 2011, and this is after he was signed to Roc Nation. So he came out with a mixtape, The Come Up, in early 2007. This is in 2011, after he had a lot of success already at a very young age. Another picture of him in 2011 at the BET Awards. Again, short hair, no locks. But then in 2012, he started growing out his hair a little bit. So you can see that his hair is a bit longer on top, but still nothing very interesting happening. What is interesting though is that he is self-taught on the piano. So he plays the piano, something I really think is really cool, something I'd love to do someday, learn how to play the piano. And he has set up his own record label as well, Dreamville Records, and he also has a Dreamville Foundation in which he pays for housing in his hometown for single moms. They can live rent-free in his hometown, which is cool. So this is another picture from 2012 where you can still see that the hair is getting a bit longer on top, but nothing really special to see. Then in 2013, he grows out his hair. This is a still from a video that they did on him. I think they were visiting his hometown in this video, but you can already see that he is not cutting his hair anymore, except for kind of shaving the size a little bit. But you can see some small, maybe baby locks starting to form. Because as we know, he has freeform locks right now. So I think he maybe twisted his hair a little bit just from sitting down. I know a lot of people who get freeform locks, they just start growing their hair, and when they sit down somewhere, they just start twisting strands of hair. So they might have been twisted a little bit, but there is minor manipulation, as you can see. Then we jump from 2013 to 2015, where you can see that his hair is still growing, and it's becoming clearer and clearer that he's getting locks, because you can see that these strands of hair are very clearly starting to look like baby locks. Still, from this picture, judging from this picture, he's still not really maintaining them. He's just letting them form into locks. Another picture in 2015 where it is a bit more clear that his hair is starting to grow and it's starting to form locks. Here it is way clearer than here. This was the beginning of 2015, and then here they are both longer but also clearly becoming dreadlocks. Last picture of 2015, and here it's starting to become that typical freeform look where I remember when I had locks and they started forming, they just became baby locks. Whenever I got out of bed in the morning, they would kind of look like this. They would stand up. They wouldn't really behave the way I wanted them to. But in his case, that's the look he's going for. He's actually freeforming his locks. You can see from the way that his locks grew that he had very little manipulation, that he didn't really retwist them or pull them apart. 2016, this is him performing somewhere, and here the length is really starting to show. So this was, I think, 2 years, maybe 2.5 years after he got locks, and they clearly look like dreadlocks at this stage. You do see that the hair around the edges is still not locked, because that's the last part that will lock, if ever, when you freeform your hair. But you can start to see congos. You can see really cool Congo here, and he must have a lot of them because he doesn't really do much to keep them apart. 1 year later, in 2017, they just keep on growing. And the reason why I say that he's not maintaining his locks is because at the bottom here, you can see that they are starting to curl. So this is what your locks do when you don't retwist them, when you don't put them up in the ponytail. They just start to form in all weird ways because it rests on your shoulder, because you're lying down in the bed at night, stuff like that. So it's a very organic look, I would say. It's a very pure way of forming dreadlocks because you're just letting your hair do what it does. But again, it's quite clear that parts of the hair are not locking because he has some frizzy hair right here and around the edges. Another picture from that same performance. Here in the back you can see one massive Congo. This is probably like 4 dreadlocks formed into one Congo. So again, freeforming, going for it, just letting the hair do what it does. 2018, quite some locks have combined by 2018 if you compare it to 2017 right here, especially if you look at the thickness of the locks here. They look maybe pencil shaped, maybe a bit thinner, but then in 2018 they look thicker. They look like a marker or something in thickness. So you can see that his locks start to combine because he doesn't really pull them apart. Maybe he does pull some apart because otherwise your hair could grow into one clump, which is what you start seeing with Bob Marley, that the older his locks got, the more they started combining together. But he's in the process of combining his hair, so he must have loads of Congos. 2018 still. He pulled part of his hair back, and it looks really cool. It looks awesome. I don't really see much of him doing different styles with his hair. So this is one of the pictures that I could find where he is not just wearing them down. 1 year later, 2019, you can really see the length. At this point, he's had his locks for 4 years. You also see that the frizziness of his hair is disappearing. So locks get tighter and tighter over time. So my theory is that the frizziness of the hair becomes less because they just start combining with all the locks. And again, the thickness of the locks is increasing still. So some of his locks are combining. Some of them, like this one, still look very thin. I think this is my favorite picture of the whole bunch because they look so, I don't know, they almost look fake because they look so perfect. There's no hair sticking out. They're not all the same size, but that gives them character. That's what I love about freeform locks, that anyone can get freeform locks, but they always look different from person to person because your hair just does what it does. Another picture from that same day where you can kind of see some of the locks, especially this one, a few here, they're flat. And that's also what happens if you don't palm roll them or twist them, because when you line your hair becomes flat and they just grow that way. So in 2019, he did a photo shoot as well, and I got some awesome pictures from that photo shoot where he did have different styles of hair. So this is one example where they kind of gave him the pineapple look. So they use his locks, if I just zoom in a little bit, they use his locks to tie them around the rest of the locks, so they just end up sticking out. And I think this is really a cool look. It kind of reminds me of The Weeknd. It suits him really well, to be honest. But then again, freeform locks look awesome on almost everyone. Another picture from that same photo shoot where they pulled back part of his locks, and a few are just hanging down. The last picture in the bunch, this is him with a very cool hairstyle. They kind of braided his locks or weaved them, and they look like a crown, and then the locks here come out underneath it. But what else you can see in this picture is that he shaved the bottom, so he did probably shave off a few locks so he could still get a lineup, and it looks amazing. I don't think he had that here, or did he? He did. Yeah, so he basically cut a few of his locks, kept the hair short on the side to still have kind of a neat lineup. But yeah, I'm really interested to see if he is going to keep his freeform locks, because we've seen a lot of rappers with dreadlocks and after a while they just cut their hair. So I am curious to see how long he will keep his hair this way, if he will have the guts to grow them as long as Bob Marley. What do you think? Do you think he will keep his locks and he will keep growing them? Or do you think, just like any other rapper, he will just end up cutting them because he is done having locks? Either way, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please help the channel out by giving this video a thumbs up. It doesn't take you a lot of time to give this video a thumbs up, but it does help out this channel a lot. I post 3 videos a week, and the next video will be on someone that is highly requested as well. The next person I'm going to review is one of my personal favorites, Jean-Michel Basquiat. So if you are excited for that, subscribe, hit the subscribe button, turn on notifications, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.